Thank you very much at magandang araw mga kaibigan. Nagbabalik po ang inyong programang Aksyon, Central Luzon Special Edition. Ito po si Sonny Lopez at ang pag-uusapan po natin yung Conex 2012. Alam niyo, last year ginawa na ho natin ito. Very, very successful undertaking. I think this one, we're really, going for the jugular this time, and because this series of activities will be annual activities that will be undertaken by Clark Development Corporation, the Conex people, plus all the players in the industry. So as my special guest for today, of course we have the top guy of SILA, the Clark Investors and Locators Association, who incidentally is also one of the major sponsor of the event, Mr. Jeff Pradhan.
Thanks for having me again.
Again, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. And to the left of Mr. Jeff, we have the Executive Secretary of the MCI-CT Council, the very hardworking Ms. Celine Rivera.
Thank you, sir, for having us again for the end time.
And of course, the partner of the Executive Director of the MCI-CT Council, Irvin Rivera.
Good day, Sir Sonny. It's very nice to be here again at Aksyon Central Luzon.
Okay, and we're talking about the BPOs, the call center industry here, and the various MCICT undertaking. Please give us an update as to how we are right now here at Clark.
All right. Well, I'm happy to announce that employment-wise, we are enjoying an all-time high. Now we actually reached 70,000 workers last July, and we've been able to maintain that. Our fastest growing industries are the electronics and semiconductor sector, and very close behind is the IT BPO sector. So these are really the sunrise industries and the industries that have really matured now in terms of investment and employment generation.
Okay, Jeff, you agree with these statements of
Yeah, absolutely. I've got to commend the efforts of the Metro Clark RCT Council, of the Conex organizers in putting this together. It's the second annual Conex convention, and they've done some very smart things in terms of the planning for this one. They piggybacked it right on the end of the International Outsourcing Summit, which takes place in Manila. Very big, probably the biggest BPO ICT conference in the country, and very well established. So by doing it right after and following that conference, they're getting a lot of the same speakers, VIP, delegates, and decision makers really in this industry to attend the Conex. The other thing I think is really important about the Conex and other BPO ICT conferences like it is that it's not focused on a particular area. It's not just saying Clark.
Yes.
It's saying Metro Clark. It's almost kind of saying we're a hub, we're a specialized area for this type of activity. And just like Cebu, just like Metro Manila or Metro Cebu,
yes,
it helps to promote a larger area with larger talent base,
yes,
with larger kind of infrastructure base, larger opportunities. So I think that's something in terms of the industry side is very appealing to them. It's not just saying here's one area, here's our only solution to location. It's giving them a wide array of options. I think Clark has one thing I'll mention, I think Clark has a very bright future. A recent press release by NETA actually...
Clark is it,
Well, Clark is it, of course. Yeah, we've talked about that before. But NETA actually just put out a press release, which I thought was really important. Mm-hmm. They are now going to promote and incentivize areas outside of Metro Cebu and Metro Manila.
So, Celine, inside Clark,
Yes,
Jerry was talking about the number of the big leap of the number of employees employed by the industry. But how many industry BPOs and call centers are now in Clark?
Okay, right now we have about 55 IT BPO companies in Clark. So that accounts for like very near to 15,000 employees.
Mm-hmm.
So all for IT and BPO companies.
And as Jeff said, the number is really growing, right? The demand is
Yes.
there. As per your observation, probably that even communities outside Clark are now benefiting from this potential businessmen or locators coming into the area.
Yes, sir. I believe there are also a lot of IT companies outside of
Yes.
Clark that we don't know. These are the small IT, few seaters of call centers that we don't know yet. But upon checking, they're really existing. So basically, the investors are really coming over because they know that talents are already here.
There's one big one in Nepo, right?
Yes.
Plus the malls, they're into it also,
Yes.
Right.
You mentioned about the malls.
Oh.
We know that SM City Clark is undergoing expansion right now.
Yeah, right now.
And one of the major features of that expansion would be 4 new buildings that will house IT BPO centers and companies. So, and no less than really the main guys in SM Prime Holdings has really emphasize the development of SM City Clark as an IT hub, and I think that that would bring in complementary growth with GGLC because they are adjacent.
Right.
And we were just talking about that earlier, and definitely this BPO boom has been increasing not only within Clark but also outside.
The president himself talked about this, right?
In
his speech,
two
his
words,
persona,
no?
right?
You say it in 2 words: inclusive growth or inclusive development.
So, are we is Conex one of the undertaking that we're doing just to be ready for this?
I
About
believe so. I
Conex?
think it's a necessary an important step towards that. But I'd like to emphasize that, as Jeff mentioned, this is not only about Clark anymore.
Yes.
We are at the center, that's for sure. In fact, we have been designated by the National ICT Confederation as the lead council for the entire Luzon Island group. We have been designated by DTI Region 3 as the lead council for Central Luzon. So definitely we're playing Big Brother here. I should say that we were lucky enough to be able to start earlier and for us to be able to benchmark with other proven councils like Cebu and the councils from Metro Manila who have been entering the World Outsourcing Cities list. So we look to them as our models. Now, no less than the national government has awarded Metro Clark to be one of only 3 centers of excellence in ICT.
Plus, you identified it as one of the 3, right?
Yes, we are, and we have really the formal award certification to show for it. There are only 3 centers of excellence: Metro Manila, Metro Cebu, and Metro Clark.
Okay, that's really nice to hear.
I think the Conex has really positioned themselves well to promote this entire area. I mean, the Center of Excellence Award came maybe a year and a half ago, but really at this point, it's never been a lack of infrastructure. It's never been a lack of talent pool. It's really just getting the word out, the message, and I think the Conex has positioned itself very well to do that, not just nationally but internationally, to let everybody know that this area has a lot of opportunities for investment, for BPO, for ICT, everything. And so I think that's going to be the big change you're going to see in these years going forward, is people are going to start talking about Metro Clark, Subic, Baguio, these other areas north of Manila. Usually they talk about first Manila, then Cebu, and then Davao, Iloilo, these other areas. But they're going to really start to see the value of being within Luzon, because the access to Manila for training, sponsorships, events, meetings, but still being within Luzon, where the infrastructure is very, very high.
But let me ask you, Mr. Jeff, from a locator's point of view, what are some of the things that you want to be introduced in this in the industry so that everything will really be polished?
Well, I think from a locator investor perspective, you really want to see a committed partnership of all the stakeholders. And by that I mean the Metro Clark ICT Council, the NICP, BPAP, CCAP, academic organizations and government organizations. The I can't remember the secretary you said, but the secretary that ICT is housed under. DOST, sorry. You want to see a fully represented offering from the government sector, whether it's local.
Are we aggressive now? Do you think?
I think that's exactly what's so positive about this second Conex, is that it's moving in that direction. This is a very stacked lineup of presenters and attendees of the right sectors of government at the right levels of government, that it's on their radar. They see what's happening. They're supporting this industry. They're doing it in the right areas. So I think in terms of what's happening at Conex, it's very positive to see. From an investor locator perspective, this is exactly what you want to see. As Juris mentioned, it's setting up not just a static kind of, we're going to present to you plans or talk. It's dynamic. We're going to have an interaction. You're going to tell us what you want, what you need. We're going to tell you what our plans are. We're going to basically have a dialogue, a discussion to figure out the best way forward. But also then beyond that, the linking of all the parties.
Yes.
So, investors, locators, operators can say, I'm having trouble finding talent. And
Right.
they can say, well, stick around for tomorrow and we can introduce you to the schools and the administrators and everything like that. So it's putting all that together. Or the investor saying, well, we've got a couple developers here. We've got a couple areas inside and outside the zone in the area.